Zimbabweans living in South Africa might find themselves stranded after the South African government decided to do away with Zimbabwean exemption permits. South Africa announced that it would not renew temporary permits of around 250,000 Zimbabweans working in the country when their visas expire next month. CGTN's Olisa Njamel has more.
Some 250,000 Zimbabweans fleeing political and economic crisis back at home were first granted 4-year work visas in 2009. The visas have for years been repeatedly extended, but the government announced there would be no further extension.
In 2014, the dispensation was extended by 3 years and referred as the Zimbabwean Special Permit. The current Zimbabwean Exemption Permit was initiated in 2017 and comes to an end on the 31st December 2021.
Minister Gungubele says the government has decided to give a 12-month grace period at the expiry of the current special permits.
During this period, holders of this permit should apply for other permits appropriate to their particular status or situation. At the expiry of this 12-month period, those who are not successful will have to depart the Republic or be deported.
About 180,000 Zimbabweans are holders of these permits. This announcement has left many of them facing an uncertain future. Monica Chikoto has been living and working in South Africa since 2009.
It's uncertainty because we have, for example, bank accounts. In the previous years, soon after there's an announcement, you get about, with different banks, some it's 2 weeks, some it's a month, they freeze your accounts. So there is that uncertainty of what's going to happen in terms of that, because I'm an entrepreneur. I do my own communications and also an online clothing shop is what I run. So most of these funds get transferred through the bank. So if I'm not able to access them, it's also a challenge on my bank, on myself, to be able to pay the suppliers and to be able to, if need be, to refund the clients.
Chikoto says this might be the end of livelihood for many.
And for some, it's going to be the end of business because your business has been based here for a decade, or your life has been based here. Your suppliers, your customers are all based in South Africa. So for you probably to operate from Zimbabwe and supply the SA market will be a challenge.
Some organizations that represent Zimbabweans here have expressed concern, particularly about the grace period.
We are also concerned whether part of this grace period, companies do not fear that they might be penalized for employing undocumented Zimbabweans to an extent that they might begin to review their contracts. So at this stage, this is what is of great concern to us.
Mabena says it's evident that not everyone who is currently a ZEP holder will qualify to move to other permits.
What we be doing now is to compile a database in terms of grouping the holders of these special permits to saying these are the categories of the people that hold these permits, and in our view they will not move to other permits. And the second thing which we will be asking on government to consider is to waiver some of the requirements as outlined in the Immigration Act to allow people to move to these other permits.
The special permits were introduced to legalize the many Zimbabweans who were already inside the country because of the political and socio-economic situation in Zimbabwe. The cabinet decision could see scores of Zimbabweans living and working here in South Africa having no option but to return home should they not be able to secure the work permits and other relevant documents. Olisa Njamel for CGTN in Johannesburg, South Africa.